earlier about in 6 state prison systems, Native people are vastly overrepresented. So bringing this back to Alaska, think about what I told you about Fairview and rural Alaska, a national prison research group which looks at inmate population says that American Indians, Alaska Natives, next to Black people, are incredibly overrepresented in state prisons. You will see this. You'll see people say stuff like, well, if Black people only make up 13% of the population, then why are there so many more Black people in jail? Let's talk about that. Any ideas on why that might be? Why Black and brown folks are so overrepresented within prison populations?
Well, you already, I mean, y- we've already identified them in preschool that they should be
Yeah.
going to prison.
Over policing, absolutely.
Mm.
If you so it's been studied multiple times. Black people, white people, Asians, indigenous people, we all commit crimes at about the same rate. If you go looking for trouble, you will find trouble. So if you happen to put 15 cops in a Black neighborhood and 1 cop in a white one, you are going to find more criminal activities. You will find what you're looking for. And that is what happens. You put Black people, or excuse me, you put cops in underrepresented neighborhoods, and you're going to get, because they are looking for those Black people to offend. Um, it's one of the reasons why I hate those shows that are like Alaska State Troopers and they just show, like when you're watching it, it's always like some indigenous person is getting arrested because they're drunk. Well, you're in a village that is full of indigenous people. Who else is going to be there drinking? Right? So it's not like, oh my God, Alaska natives, they have such a hard time with alcohol. It is you are over policing these neighborhoods. I guarantee I can think I went to high school in Anchorage. I can think of 3 quote unquote white neighborhoods right now that if you go there on a Friday night, you will catch white kids drinking and all kinds of other stuff. I've never seen so much cocaine in my life.
Mm.
I didn't do it because I was on the track team and because it just seems like a bad thing to do, like for your body. And I didn't want to do all that, but no judgment to those who do. I'm just saying, if you go looking for trouble in white neighborhoods, you will find it. You will absolutely find it. So if you look at, even though
Ask Sarah Palin. Oops.
that's got to get cut from the YouTube.
No, that's going on TikTok.
So there was a Massachusetts-based think tank. It's called Prison Policy Initiative, right? And they looked at inmate populations in 2021, and they looked at every state and found that Alaska Natives make up 40% of the inmates in Alaska's prison, yet they're only 15% of the population. So that goes back to the idea of over-policing these neighborhoods, right? The numbers also showed that a total number of native prisoners in Alaska is almost equal to those of white inmates. So in 2021, it was 4,600 people were incarcerated in Alaskan prisons. Out of those people, 1,895 were white, 1,855 of those folks were native.
Mm.
It is mind-boggling. And that is just letting you know those numbers are a huge red flag, right? Wanda Bertram, she works for the Prison Policy Initiative. I got a quote from her. She said, that suggests something not just out of proportion, but also deeply unjust about the criminal justice system. I think what it says is that Alaska's criminal justice system is racist. It's just that simple. So do with that information what you will. I was happy to share it. So if you look again, here are the numbers compared. 911 black folks, 801 American Indian or Indigenous Alaska Native folks, and then 188 white prisoners. You have 426 Hispanics and then 71 Asians. So you're telling me that they're not doing crime? Not so much? Okay, sure. So what? Why does this matter? You're
Well, it is
muted.
injustice for
Okay,
starters.
there's that. Injustice.
I mean, there's so many things that you are denied when you end up in the carceral system, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
just being introduced to it. First of all, you have a huge um, chance of going back into that system or staying in that system. It reduces your
Recidivism.
ability
Hmm.
to learn. It reduces well, if it reduces your ability to earn, it reduces your ability to find housing, it reduces your ability to be food secure, it reduces your ability to thrive, period. And so those statistics blow me away again. And I just, wow, we've got a lot to do to fix our system.
Yeah.
That's got a lot of work to do.
I'm giving you snaps like we're at a poetry reading. Ooh, speak, sister Aaron. Come on, brother Nate. So convicted felons can't vote in a lot of places. And if you
Uh-oh.
can't vote, it's a lot harder for you to change the policies that put you in the prison system in the first place. And if you can't vote because you're a felon, and if you can't get a good job because you're a felon, and if you can't, get housing because you're a felon, what are you, how are you going to survive? The last time I checked, and it's not like I checked for myself, I was just being nosy, but the last time I checked, crack cocaine is like a 1700% markup. You know how
Mm.
easy it is to, and I am not advocating for anybody to start cooking crack or any of that other stuff. If you want to be a street pharmaceutical salesperson rep, that is your business. Do what you do. But it is incredibly cheap and crazy easy to make crack cocaine. And I have never once in all my years ever sat back with someone that said, I got a bunch of crack at the house and I don't know how to get rid of it. I'm going to get rid of all this crack, all this meth. What are you going to do with it? Not once. Not once. It is cheap, it's easy to make, and it is profitable. And if you are struggling to get a job, if you are struggling to pay your bills, take care of your family, and this is what you know, it's very easy to go back to. I have never met a sex worker that said out like, I don't know how I'm gonna get rid of this ass. Nobody wants to buy from me. Oh my God, not once. Not once. I saw somebody online said, as long as you have a cookie, you'll never be broke. And I don't know about that for everyone else, but that stuck with me because it's true. If you grew up and this was how you made your money, and then you get arrested, and now you're a felon, and this is on your record, and people can see, it's a lot easier to go back to what you know. It's very hard to be what you can't see. Very
And they
hard to
want
be.
to keep on reducing the education systems
Hmm.
in what they call the Department of Corrections, right? Like you're
Hmm.
supposed to be correcting behavior, and all
Hmm.
you're doing is making better criminals. And then you're putting them out on the street without any
Hmm.
education and a record and it just goes on and on and on.
On and on.
And but I love the way that you have now weaved this into the weave. I love how you have weaved this into voting because this is why, right? This is why we do this, right? This is
Mhm.
why redlining started. And I don't know that it's an overall overlord corporate plot, but it certainly is effective at keeping certain people off the voting rolls, right?
So yeah, and I hear what you're saying. Like, I don't know if there's like, some secret room of evildoers who are like, ha 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 ha. And it's not some secret room of like 8 people. It is several rooms of thousands of people and hundreds of years of precedent that put us there. That's why it's a system, right? It is when we talk about systemic racism, this is what we're talking about because it people say all the time, "Oh my gosh, you guys make everything about race." No, no, we did not. Racists literally made everything about race. From the food that you can buy, from who you can buy it from, where you can live, who you can marry, what you wear, like all of those things at one time or another were controlled by racist people, and those racist people had kids, and those kids wrote policies.